the quantum particles doesn't break classical logic because it proves the non-identity property of a system. No, it breaks because it violates the quantum properties in a system where
What?
they're not even crackable.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Oh,
it.
he's clueless. He's
This
clueless.
is
Okay.
not about intrinsic properties anymore. Okay, this is not intrinsic property. Just let you determine those states, but that doesn't conclude that they have some pre-existing states or anything. I mean, they don't have the ontological differentiation like you think. Even if you logically do, you do it to the properties. You don't do it to the quantum particles themselves. Otherwise, the whole quantum physics, the models and everything would be determined like electron A, electron B. That doesn't happen. Scientists actually assume those whole particles in the electron trap, not in a way that they are distinguished from each other. If anything, that's the
This
properties
guy's
on the
not refuting
intrinsic
anything,
manner. Because
actually.
when anything
Oh,
like
okay.
quantum entanglement happened, you shut the fuck up. Anything like quantum entanglement happened, your whole argument that they are distinguishable just fucking fails. Because in the quantum entanglement stage, they are literally the same shit. The trajectories, the properties, and entanglement are so in a state that you cannot even differentiate. And in mixed with this predetermined states with the Bell theorem and everything, and you cannot even fucking determine them under the logical consequences. Do you understand, or am I supposed to repeat it?
All right. Look, I'll get to the main important things first from your matching arguments. But look, you just conclude that quantum particles are ontologically identical but logically distinct, right?
Hmm. So yeah,
Okay. Now this is where everything you just said, all of that 2-3 minute yap, gets fucking destroyed. Cause look, the principle of identity. Let's actually get the principle of identity from this one guy. His name is Leibniz. Pretty sure you know him. All right. His thing called indiscernibles, right, states that if x and y share all properties, then x equals y. Now that's pretty simple to know. I think
Bro, he
everybody
doesn't know
knows
what
that.
Leibniz is.
Yeah, I mean, he probably does, but you know, niggas are too stupid. But look, they differ in a lot of things. I'll name four of them. They differ in spatial relation. They differ in entanglement relations. You know, since you mentioned quantum entanglement, and they even differ in superposition. You know, positions in the total state of a structure. Now, here's the thing: relational properties, right, count as properties. So if we bring up electrons, right, if electron A is entangled with photon, or with like photon B or something, or actually no, we can say electron A and photon A, and then electron B, right? Let's say that there are two electrons and one photon. That's photon A. If electron A is entangled with photon A, and electron B is not, then they are discernible, right? So this entire thing, right? Well, what I'm giving in here is the principle of identity of indiscernibles, which is PII, right? PII is not violated unless you deny relational properties, or like you deny them counting, and you also assume a purely intrinsic property within metaphysics, or as in you just bring up an entirely different type of metaphysics, right? And if you do that, then that's an assumption that is not proven. All you'll be doing is asserting, right? Now, I could say more, but I think this is enough. So do you have anything to say, respond, rebuke, or refute to what I just
okay,
said?
quantum particles are ontologically indistinguishable, also logically indistinguishable unless the measurement occurs, but the ontological indistinguishability stays. I mean, picking on this statement, you just yapped all your shit like. So let me deeply explain this because particles of the same species, like two electrons, are ontologically identical because they possess the exact intrinsic physical properties in states. Every electron has the same mass, electric charge, and spin and potential, like entropies and everything. There's no hidden tag or internal essence that make electron A or B, which yours came in philosophical shit just or try to bring, but come on, it fails because they are ontologically identical. Swapping the position doesn't say the physical state of a substitutional in universe or the wave
He's just
function
reasserting
assertion.
himself with other
So
words. Holy
no,
shit.
no, in classical, no, let me explain. The classical logic, swapping
My
two
god.
identical balls create a new configuration. Okay, that's happened. So that's how the logic is. But in quantum mechanics, it results in the exact same system. So before measurement occurs, those particles are logically indistinguishable because they are exist in a state of superposition entanglement where the parts cannot be described independently of the whole. So there happens the mereological collapse in the EPR paradox. States of one particle.
Holy shit, bro! What?
Paradox.
What?
That's a
Do you have
paradox.
any mind what you're saying? Do you have any
EPR
eyes what you're
paradox. Do you know
saying?
what the hell is EPR paradox?
Holy shit!
This is so
You-
bad,
This
dude.
guy's fucking head.
All right, wait.
you know what the
Continue,
hell
bro.
is
Continue, bro.
EPR
Wait,
paradox?
everybody's chill, bro. Continue.
EPR paradox is a thought experiment by Albert Einstein and the Boris Podolsky and Nathan Rosen, actually, not a paralogical EPR paradox. The state of one particle is where inextricably linked to the other state of another, even across the vast distances, actually. So here happens the absence of your hexity to completely say that there exists quantum particle A or quantum particle B, where their thickness is completely different from something. I mean, since quantum particle have the definitive trajectories of location before the measurement, there's no logical basis to assign that the permutation xn value having some kind of logical explanation unless the kind of measurement occurs here. So before a measurement force of determinism, but to vital need to understand that it only creates a logical distinction, not an ontological difference. That doesn't happen here. And here I explained it to Shiro with the main example that the pillow and the core one, where the particles, quantum particles, having the same trajectories and everything, they are the pillow and the car, no matter how logically they are different, still they're ontologically the same. But that thickness and whatness is fucking violated here if that entanglement ever were to happen. So in your models like many world interpretation Copenhagen, measurement causes the universe to split into branches where different outcomes occur. So you can now logically distinguish the particle, the electron, the spin up versus the electron spin down when measurement causes, okay, not before the measurement. The Bell theorem, that just already dismantle your entire argument. True, these outcomes are not based on local hidden variables or pre-existing identities. This distinguishability is a result on a measurement of process itself, not some property of the particle processed beforehand. So that's why the violation of classical logic goes it proves identity
Oh my
is
God,
not
bro.
essential to thought.
That's fucking
But the
clueless.
classical logic, if A and B are distinguishable now, they must have the same separate entities alone.
Oh my
Quantum
fucking yepper,
mechanics
bro.
actually is the living evidence for all this. Because from the state of zero
This
logical
dude is
identity to
worse than
assigned
fucking
identity
Devil.
without even their own ontological essence being ever changing. So if you don't believe me, let me, I mean, since you don't even approve of me, I will ask you one question. I mean, the same question which I asked to him. So, if two indistinguishable particles like two photons swap position in vacuum, has a physical event actually occurred?
Repeat that
I
question
mean,
again.
if two quantum, I mean, no, if two indistinguishable particles like two photons or electrons swap position in a vacuum, has a physical event even actually occurred there?
Actually, a chord there.
Do they occur or not?
A chord.
If two indistinguishable particles
Doing this. Okay.
like two photons
You're
or
fucking
electrons
weak.
swap
Holy
position in a
shit.
vacuum, has a physical event actually occur?
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. So actually occur. I thought you said a chord. My bad. So look. So look. So let's get it down, right? If
So you
you're
believe they have?
if
They
you're
occur?
saying
No,
wait,
actually
chill,
they don't
you
occur
chill.
actually because swapping A and B results in
I
a new
didn't even
state.
answer the question yet.
However,
I didn't even answer the question yet.
no, you said a yes.
No, I didn't. No,
You
I
said a
didn't.
yes.
What? Why are you
No,
gaslighting?
you said a yes.
Why are you gaslighting? I never said yes. We can look back
Okay,
the
if I
recording.
say
Look,
Okay,
let me
let me
answer
explain
let me
it.
answer your question. Let me answer your question first. Now, if you're saying the two particles in an existing vacuum constitute to a real physical state, if that's your question, then of course. But that really has nothing to do with anything you said because look,
Oh yeah, there has. Will you let me speak if so?
okay, sure. You can
Will
go
you
ahead
let me
and explain.
speak? Because now in classical logic, swapping like an electron A and B on a photon A and B result in a new state actually, where A and B, A. However, in the quantum mechanics, because the particles lack the hexity that the individual thickness, the mathematical wave function of the system remains identical or only changes the sign actually. There is no ontological difference. Since there is no hidden variable or tags, which the Abel theorem
Dude,
fucking
that's
proves.
going. I'm just gonna
This is not a
cry, bro.
transition
Like, I'm
between
just
two
gonna
different
cry.
states, but rather a redundancy in the description because fucking this violates the classical principle of identity of indiscriminable as well as the law of identity itself. That's what I all talked about. Simple.
Yeah, so you're just clueless again. Want me to explain why?
All right. First off, I would actually like to go first, but I want to see what you'll say, because we're not 2v1.
Am I supposed to answer? I mean, I just
No,
did.
I'm talking about Shiro. Unless you want me to steal man your argument.
You can just continue, and I can like cash out something at the end.
All right, sure. So let's go. Let's go to the vacuum scenario. Right. I was gonna go over to his mereological essentialism and shit, but look. So let's assume two identical fermions, right? Let's also assume a perfect vacuum. Let's assume what else? No external fields within that vacuum, and there's no environmental decoherence. There's overlapping wave functions
Nope.
within here, and there's permutation symmetry enforced. So in quantum field theory, or QFT, right, particles are excitations of a field. So if we were to say a two-particle state is described by a symmetrized or even anti-symmetrized total wave function, then that means swapping them does not produce a new physical state. So there is no physical fact of the matter about which is which, right? So let's go over individuality now, the concept of individuality between this vacuum, right? It would require helicity, which is thisness, right? What I mean by thisness is that, is it this or is it that? That's what I mean by that. It's a type of necessity, right? Or unique trajectories, right? Now, quantum theory actually denies both because trajectories are not fundamental, if you even know that principle, and necessities are not in the formulist, or are not formalist within quantum mechanics. So individuality isn't fundamental. Now let's attack the principle of identity of indiscernibles to steelman your argument even more, right? Let's actually attack that. So if x and y show properties and x equals y. Now in the vacuum case, we have same properties, whether intrinsic, dynamical, entanglement relations, or relational properties, right? So nothing distinguishes them. But yet we still describe two particles. So either the principle of identity of indiscernibles is false, or there is only one entity. But since a particular number, right? I don't know why I said number, right? Number is 2 within the formalism, we appear to have two numerically distinct but qualitatively identical entities. So not only is that retarded, that would pressure both classical metaphysics and classical logic. Now let's go over mereological essentialism, right? Since I now steelman your argument and I'm about to destroy it even more, right? I'm going to destroy it in all possible ways. So if wholes are defined by their parts, as we're talking about here, right? As we know in our argument and what I just did with the steelman, parts have no independent identity because the only well-defined object is the total state of the vector. Therefore, the whole of the whole, right? The composite thing is
വേണ്ട.
fuck.
പിന്നെ കഴിച്ചോളാം.
The composite. His mom came in. His mom came in.
Oh my god,
So-
that's fucking crazy.
Okay,
Because
bro.
all of this
Yeah,
is
bro.
recording.
Come on, bro. But wait.
ഇപ്പൊ വേണ്ട.
Wait. Let me continue, bro. I'm almost.
ഇത് ഞാൻ വെച്ചോളാം. പാത്രം ഉണ്ടല്ലോ.
Yeah, sure, mom. I'm just talking to my friends on court.
Yeah, bro. All right. So back to what I said. I think his mom's gone now. The composite I'm talking about, or the whole, is ontologically prior to the parts. So not only does it support wave function monism and structural realism, right? We can now go over more of the indiscernibility, right? So permutation symmetry means swapping labels does not yield a new physical state. Now, here's the thing that he confuses with this, right? It does not mean that there is only one entity because in quantum mechanics, right, the Hilbert space for two fermions is a particle is an observable thing, and it's not the same
Oh, that's a
as
good
the
concession.
what the fuck did I concede? Anyways, I'm gonna continue back what I was saying. I don't know why I wanted to interrupt and interject while I'm not done, but it's not the same as the Hilbert space for one fermion, and the number operator of a number operator has something called a Eugen value, which is 2, right? So we can say something has a Eugen value 2, Eugen value 3, Eugen value any number. So if there were really only 1, then the Eugen value would only be 1. So therefore, not only does that mean that that thing he said was entirely bullshit and
Right, you are
collapses
talking
down.
about a determined state. You're not talking about a state before the determinism. Okay, quantum indistinguishability doesn't remain the same indistinguishability when the permutation exchange invariance completely
Okay, but
happens.
he's saying that quantum
Because that
mechanics, like,
is classical logic,
yeah, that's like
but
two
not the
parts.
Wait, but
indistinguishability.
wait, hold on.
You need to
But like
understand it.
positions in
Bro,
the tensor
bullshit,
product
retarded.
structure. What are we talking about? Because look, even in perfect symmetry, they
What are
differ
you
by.
talking about?
I'm talking about
Who
the.
told you? Okay,
I'm talking
what
about the
hell
relational
is the
structure. What are you
exchange
talking
in the
about,
permutation?
dude? Because
Okay,
you're
what the hell is
claiming. Wait.
the exchange in the permutation?
Pause. They do not claim that they share all relational properties. They do not claim that.
Yeah, he's retarded.
In the
Oh my
quantum
God,
entangled
bro.
state, of course.
Did you claim that verbatim? Yes or no? Did you claim they share all relational
In
properties?
quantum entanglement state, I just like claims the word.
No. Did you
Bruh.
look in any case?
Quantum
In
entanglement
any
state,
case,
yes, I
because-
said.
Okay. So what I'm saying is going to refute that. Chill out. Look, even in perfect symmetry, they still differ by something anti-symmetric, so an anti-symmetry constraint, or a mode occupation by numbers. They are not propertyless blobs. Okay, I don't know why we are trying to say that, because they are distinct degrees of freedom within an occupied vacuum or structure state space. So a structural distinction is still a distinction. What I mean by structural distinction is relating to a relational distinction. So back to what I was saying, right? Numerical plurality in your argument is physically encoded. That alone kills your entire maybe they're just one. Okay? And once again, pi or PII, that principle is not violated. It only fails if two entities share all properties. But relational and structural properties, they obviously count. So once again, if two fermions occupy different modes, symmetry, asymmetrically, yeah. I thought I pronounced that wrong. They still differ in an index. They still differ in anti-symmetry relations, and even perfectly symmetric systems preserve structural differentiation. Right. So just so you know, symmetry does not mean something collapses and then becomes unified on one another. Do you understand that? Did his dad walk in or something?
That's the. I suppose that's the judge. Like he's judge.
Oh.
I don't know.
Did you hear what I said? Erebus, Arab Voider, whatever your name is.
No, I can't continue.
Why? Your mom walked in, bro?
That's crazy.
That's not about the mother, bro. That's about the internet issue.
Oh my god. Bro.
Oh, Singaporean internet, bro.
That's not a foreign.
What are you doing, man? Oh,
So I just completely did not hear what the hell you spoke because in between it just completely cut out. And right now it's the same I see.
Okay, so but I would say okay, so you're entirely confused, and right now at this point, I just don't want to fucking continue. Like we can like force conclusion.
No, I
Even-
can't continue because I can prove you're still wrong the same way.
dude,
No,
whether
you
you
can't
are.
fucking prove
whether
anybody
dude,
wrong.
whether
bro.
whether
Holy
if he
shit.
heard or did not
Fucking
hear,
true or not, that's
wait, chill,
different,
bro.
whether you
Whether
guys
if
understand me or
whether if
not.
he heard or did not
Because-
hear my argument, it still wouldn't make a difference. He was still confused before, and pretty much.
Because
already
you are
disrupted.
just fucking confused actually. You are the one who confused, buddy.
How am I confused? I just broke down
Bro,
everything you
it's fucking
said.
autist gas.
Okay, you can just fucking stop the trolling because either you're gonna debate
What
or not.
trolling, bro? What trolling? You're fucking drooling ass
trolling,
fucking
man?
clown, bro.
He did not say.
Oh, bro.
Dude, the thing with him is that he did not like bring in a single claim I made and try to attack it. He just went with the flow, and then tried to ask a rhetorical question that meant absolutely nothing. Couldn't even save him. And what's even crazier is I
Basically,
steel man his
want
argument.
to
I
speak
literally made his
something.
argument stronger and then
Because
refuted it.
I don't know
Like, what are
if
we
you will
doing?
allow me or not, Lane. Because you are right now kind of muted by me. But I will unmute you now. Because, let me speak, because what we're saying, I asked you a rhetorical question. I can ask such same questions and you will get trapped. Of
How will I get
course.
trapped?
Or you want me to do that. And I will explain why the hell you're wrong either way and why the classical logic is completely invariant because you just consider yourself when you say the permutation exchange value in the end is classical logic. So because the exchange happened, hence it is a classical logic. No, that doesn't make sense because the indistinguishability exists when the predetermined state exists. Just because the measurement happened and the invariance occurs doesn't entail that they are completely being actually predetermined or having a localized logical state or any identical particles symphony or either way.
Do you know what's a Eugen value?
Of course, which I explained. Or what?
Do you know what's a Eugen value? Because my entire argument literally uses that and dismantles it.
Of course, I know what the hell is a Eugen value.
Okay, what's a Eugen value?
And a Eugen value, it's a special scalar value associated with square matrix in the quantum mechanics, basically. Or if you want to talk about the Eugen values, oh yeah,
Bro.
This guy is a troll, bro. Got his ass out
it's a
of here, man.
it's a scalar value
I swear to God,
representing
he's a
the
fucking
square
troll.
possible outcomes, bro.
This guy,
It's a scalar value. It's not a vector value, okay?
Yeah. So okay. So if you fail.
So what the hell? Am I wrong now? Am I wrong now?
You were always
Yes,
wrong.
you. Bro. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm
my
always
God.
wrong, but you can't even prove why I'm wrong. Yeah, that's
Prove you're wrong. We
Prove
did it
me
like
wrong, you go.
5 times, bro.
Bro, you didn't even wrong. You didn't even prove me wrong, bro. I was countering
Whatever,
everything
bro.
with you just.
Anyways, I'm
Holy
gonna end the recording now, bro. Shit's so stupid.